Hey, remember that time I said that I might, research some lores and make lore videos? Yeah, isn't that a weird idea, seeing me make lore videos? Well, if you checked my channel description the past days, probably, I changed it from experimenting with my channel to just ranting on about things I do on this channel. It's probably going to change in the future. I can almost guarantee that it will change in the future when my plans and visions for this channel change. But I actually wrote there that I want to make lore videos. It's not quite straight, you see that? Just ignore that. Wow, it's really... that's a bit better, actually. So, here's the thing. You know how channels often are about specializing? Long story short, there are many things I want to do here, there are many things that I plan to do here. I do not plan on specializing this channel too much, and I plan on kind of doing what I feel like, which is not a good idea, marketing-wise, but I'm going to ignore that and just go on anyways, because you may enjoy me being funny, and that's good. So my idea is that I want to specialize in a certain lore. Maybe I touch on a theory here or there, if there's a big release and I have played the other games, I may make a theory about what that game will be about, or what the story of that game will be. And I may be completely off, or maybe I'm on point, which I hope, of course. And I know what I will specialize in. I know which lore I will specialize in. FNAF lore, just kidding, it's not the FNAF lore. I'm not doing that. I'm not reading the books. It's not the FNAF lore. Do you know what it is? It is the Half-Life and Portal lore, specifically. And I have some, I guess you could call them guidelines to how to approach the games, because different things happen in different games. And sometimes they kinda contradict each other, which isn't the greatest. So you have to determine which sources are the best. And I have guidelines for how to determine which sources are the best. Now, you could make it so that every source is equally as good, except like Opposing Force, because it isn't made fully by Valve. I don't think that is completely valid. I think that there's another thing which is extremely important to consider, and that is... oh, right, that's it. When were the games released? When was the game released, and what was the vision of what the lore would be at that time? Let me give you an example. Half-Life 1 was released 1998. Half-Life Alyx was released Half-Life Alyx was released in 2020. If you could just speculate on people who write lore and the people that work at Valve, do you for a millisecond believe that it is the same lore that they envisioned for the game in 1998 as 2020? I think, and I can almost guarantee you, especially considering what happens in the end of Half-Life Alyx and the end of Half-Life 2 Episode 2, that the vision and how the actual lore and canon, even those things that are kind of hard to understand, how they work, it has changed over time. So Half-Life Alyx, I know that some people will get very mad at me for saying this, because they're like hardline Half-Life 2 fans. They don't like that they changed things, or changed, you know what happens probably, or you probably don't really. You probably don't. You're probably very confused when you watch this, because most of my viewers do not probably know about the Half-Life lore, let's be honest, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, because I want to. And so, Half-Life Alyx. And this is so weird, even for me to say. Half-Life Alyx and Aperture Desk Job are currently the best sources of lore out there. Now, I haven't played Aperture Desk Job because I don't have a controller. And I have actually played Half-Life Alyx, but my VR headset is broken, and so I can't play it anymore. So if I want to go in there, look for secrets, look for lore, look for special voice lines, whatever, I can't. The only ones I can check out are Half-Life Opposing Force, Half-Life Blue Shift, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Portal, Portal 2, and that should be about it. I have thought about this for so long, so I figured it would only be fitting. And for me personally, because these games have been with me for a very long time, it just feels right for me to talk about these games. And I do have a theory already about what the kind of main story arc about at least the Half-Life part is about. Because for those of you that don't know, because a lot of people are not going to know the lore, the games Portal and Half-Life, even though gameplay-wise they're very different, they share the same universe, and thereby we must regard them as a single lore, even though pretty much almost none of the events are important. Almost none of the Portal events are important in Half-Life, and almost none of the Half-Life events are important in Portal. The one thing that is really important about when it comes to connecting the two is Borealis. What exactly? Like, we know it's. I'm not going to get into the Borealis lore because it's a weird topic, honestly. And episode 3 and. But I do have a theory already, which is, I'm not going to say in this video, just putting that out there. Probably next one, if the next one is a lore video, I don't know. But the next theory video I do is probably about what the main story arc of Half-Life, what I believe that the main story arc is, at this day and age, is important to say. I do not believe that this was the intended story arc in Half-Life 1. I think it was in the roughness that I put it in, it is probably the same they wanted in Half-Life 2. Maybe not Half-Life 2, without the episodes. It's hard to say. But I do sincerely believe that I have a good base of what the story arc of Half-Life is. And the story arc of Portal, I mean, I guess it's just Aperture being Aperture and Shell surviving. It's not as impressive, really. It's important, probably. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Like, currently it feels like the two worlds are clearly one and the same. It's one world, it's not two. But if there were no Portal games, would the Half-Life lore truly change? No, not at all. If there were no Half-Life games, would the Portal lore change? Actually, yes, probably. So I would say Portal is more of the offshoot here, because of, pretty much one line from GLaDOS, and I might talk about that. But there are some interesting mainly in Portal 2, there are, or probably exclusive in Portal 2, there are some interesting hints about, the entire Combine thing already having happened. And, yeah, it's something that is definitely worth food for thought. I have heard about people thinking that GLaDOS and the Combine are teaming up. Or not specifically GLaDOS, but Aperture and the Combine. And to that I say, it's possible, but I'm not too sure. I'm not convinced, if we put it that way. I'm not convinced. Because, well, I can throw it out there. I can throw it out there, why not? I think that the Combine and Aperture relations are... The Combine came to Earth. Aperture said... Aperture said nothing, because pretty much everyone were dead, because GLaDOS did GLaDOS did a GLaDOS, And, basically, I'm thinking GLaDOS and the Combine probably interacted at some point and said like, hey, I'm not gonna mess with you if you're not gonna mess with me. And then they left each other. That's how it feels to me. Because I don't think that the Combine have been in the Aperture labs. And I don't think that Aperture have been in contact with the Combines. Mainly because, specifically, of Borealis. Because if the Combine and Aperture were teaming, Aperture could give the Combine the Borealis technology. Yet everyone, including the Resistance, do want the Borealis. But the Combine would already have the Borealis if they were teaming up with Aperture. Which is why I believe that Aperture is separated. They said, hello, let's not talk to each other, okay, bye. That's essentially what I believe is the story between Aperture and the Combine. Or maybe they never talked. But I kind of like the idea of GLaDOS talking like this to the aliens and saying, no, we do not care about you and your endeavors. I want to experiment. Because GLaDOS is GLaDOS. GLaDOS is special. And basically, what you have just witnessed is what happens when I intend to speak about something and it's unscripted. I have made like 0 scripted videos that are like full-on scripted. So you're going to have to live with this if you just found out about this channel. But I kind of like the atmosphere of it. I think it's kind of cool. So yeah. If you like this, like. If you subscribe, subscribe. And see you... I have no idea when I will see you. I have no proper uploading schedule. Just be happy when I upload, okay? That's a good policy.